Build your successful Twitter strategy. So that's what we're here to do today. And I'm going to take you through a process. I have got a map for every single person, and when you leave here, you are going to have an action plan in your hand, your own one, to put into place. Because it is hard to remember all of the context of information that comes through. So we're going to build personal ones for you. So I know I can see lots of pens and paper here, and absolutely take additional notes. But I've got a structure, I've got a strategy, and this is the process I take people through one by one. So this is going to be great, doing it in the room. And I'd like if you all share your own, I'll probably ask some questions, and let's all help each other leave this room with our own effective, task list and stuff like that. So I just wanted to introduce that. I'm going to come over and back. I thought I'd just give you a tiny little bit about myself, which Sean did cover. I have worked in Ireland. You can tell this is an Irish accent, even though some people think it's American for whatever Aussie-ification I'm getting. Moved to the UK, and then I live here in Australia, have done for 11 years. I get all this way, and then I fall in love with someone who lives in New Zealand, bright spark. So I'm currently doing a long-distance relationship. Fun, not. And here are the loves of my life, my two little fur babies. Yes, I do modular mosaics. I've started doing some Celtic designs with mosaics, just glass tiles and things like that. I really enjoy that. Also love four-wheel driving. So just a little bit about, I guess, who I am, me personally. But who am I in this space? So I work and earn a living, which I think is kind of an important piece of this, and have done in the knowledge, in the space of social media. I'm currently consulting 2 days a week to a company called Connected Media, who is in the consumer electronics field. So having spent 12 years in IT and consumer electronics, I thought it was a good idea to kind of keep that. So I'm keeping in touch with what's going on in the corporate arena. I also, which is a longer process than small business, which is actually a hell of a lot more exciting because they're like and mean and they can make decisions. So I run campaigns for social media with businesses like window installation business, a project management training company, and children's entertainment, recruitment. They're just a few, event producers, just event organisers just come on board. So what you'll see today is part of what I have implemented for people with successful results, i.e. the results that they decide what are successful, i.e. more business, more traffic, more engagement, more activity. So we bring all of this back to real business terms here. So I just wanted to explain that's what I'm doing there. I'm also teaching on a Friday afternoon to ADA, actors at the Australian Institute of Music. They're a great fun bunch, teaching them how to build online profiles and get their own representation out there, creating their own PR for their future. And I work one-on-one with executives. After a year of it, and Sean knows this, I started the business at the beginning of last year, and so over a year and a half. Now it's at the stage that 90% of my business comes from social media platforms, whether that's a LinkedIn question or a Twitter, because over a period of time, people can see that that's where you go if you want to ask a social media question or you can get something about Twitter. They'll come to my website, or they'll ring me, or they'll ask me a question. So I guess I'm a little bit of living proof as well that if you invest the time and you get your strategy right, you can actually achieve the results too, okay? So what are we going to cover today? We're going to talk about the new marketing, how you can't shout a message anymore, you can't push it, you've got to pull those people to you, and the amount of noise that's going on in the world, you really do have to work on a new way of marketing. We're going to create your own individual strategy. As I said, you're going to get a piece of paper that you can take notes on, and you will leave here with a very clear action plan as to what you have to do next. Whether that is you are starting out brand new, or you want some refinement on what you're doing already. We're going to give you some more strategies. You might go back and go, you know what, I need to do a little bit differently, add to that. I'm going to talk about examples of physical things that you can use Twitter for, examples of companies, what they're doing with Twitter. It might just spark some ideas for yourself. Then we're going to talk about the keys to a successful Twitter strategy. It's great that you put it in. What do you do to keep the whole loop going? So we'll talk about that, okay? And then what does it take to succeed? So what are the steps that other people are doing that they're creating results and moving them forward. So, considering most of the room has been here just so we get a base level of understanding, social media is an umbrella term that defines the various actions and activities integrating technologies. It's like word of mouth, except on steroids, okay? The simple premise that it's a two-way communication. Websites aren't good enough anymore. You need to provide facility for people to engage in conversation. I personally am of the belief that social media is sort of the buzzword that we're using at the moment to bridge us from old media to new media. I do believe that in the future it will just be media. It won't be social or old or new. It will be the expectation. We expect to have a blog on our website. We expect a company to have a Twitter account. We expect that we have these communication tools are available to us, so that we will expect those from people. So it's just communication tools, okay? So traditional marketing, we're all used to these particular ways of communicating our message. It's how the industry and how we have expected to run for the last X amount of years. The reason these are not working anymore is because we have found tools to block every single marketing traditional message out. We are filtering like nothing else. We're overwhelmed with these images where we don't like the fact that TV commercials switch the sound up. It annoys us. So we have blocked all of these communication channels. We have caller ID. We're not answering the phone because we're afraid it's going to be a salesperson. We have our junk mail filters. Now with TiVo and Foxtel, we can actually integrate and stop that. And with RSS feeds, we're choosing how we receive this information. So I'm harboring on this because this is important. You really do have to work on drawing maybe a smaller group of people to you who are more in line with what you are trying to achieve, but you have a longer result. It's not trying to be mass marketing anymore. So the thing is about attraction and not forcing that message, which obviously would have been covered in the last few sessions. I just love this image of it. Oh, that's great. If I hear time before, one more time, I do get it. But when were we time rich? Anyone remember a time where we sat there and go, I had got a load of time? You know, we have successfully made ourselves increasingly busy. We look at 21st of September, very, very busy, lots of tools, lots of time. What I want to share with you today, and one of the strategies I'm going to give you is, I hear this a lot from people that I really don't have time for this. I'm going to share with you some strategies, maybe buy you back an hour in your week, maybe another way, might stop doing one thing and do another, and then give you some time for Twitter. Does that sound good? So some key points you might want to just, I use a lot of information from HubSpot. Anyone heard of that company from the States? They have been in the social media inbound marketing business for over 3 years, ancient. They have worked with successfully over 3,000 companies in helping them with their inbound marketing strategies as opposed to pushing out. And so all of their case studies and any of the charts that you see are actual direct results of the people that they work with, not hypothetical conversations. They're actually real, tangible results that they've delivered for people. So the information here is, I'm going to give you some very key, simple things that most of you probably have, but just for those new people starting out. When you have a bio in your profile, you are significantly, like 120%, I think was the number there, increasing. So your bio is your description about who you are and what you're trying to achieve. And for my own example, Clodagh Higgins, inbound marketing, that's what I do. Filling that out, I put a bit about mosaics, a bit about myself. So I think you've got 160 characters in that bio field. It's a little bit more than a tweet. Fill it out. Do not have somebody come onto your page and then have this big question mark about who you are. You have a place to make a statement. Use that. Similarly, always include a photograph. People will just skip over that when they see the Twitter bird They just don't think you're serious. And it might not be a photograph of yourself if you're not very comfortable doing that. I encourage people maybe to use your company logo. It is better if you use your face, but it's not mandatory. But at least have some identification there. Show people that you're not anonymous, that you are going to spend the time either telling them who your company logo is or showing your face. It's very important. People are making snap decisions online. I think we all remember the phrase, it takes a second to make a first impression. What's that? 3 seconds to make a first impression. I reckon online it's a microsecond. We're all visual, you see someone and you click. There's no picture. We just go, no, I'm not interested. So we're making those decisions very quickly. Similarly, make sure your website is that hyperlink in there. It is actually directly attached. It can be attached in the grand sphere of Google to your own website. So your website and your Twitter account can be linked in a way that people know that that's you. So it is very important to have your website there with the HTTP so that it's hyperlinked. So again, very simple. 3 simple things that will dramatically improve the amount of reaction you're going to get. Dipping your toe into these things is important, but there's 3 things you really need to have. Picture, include your bio, and hyperlink your website. Okay? Also, if you're blogging, how many people here have a blog? Blogging on a regular, brilliant, right? That's awesome. That number is growing all the time, which is fantastic. So when you blog, it increases your Twitter reach by 75% because you're linking things over and back. And I'll cover off a little bit more of that, but I just wanted to show you some stats and some figures which are powerful based on companies that have successfully done this. Another quick thing to remember is when you put hyperlinks in, so it's really nice to mention something, I'm going off to say Twitter workshop today. Putting the link in is actually, especially if it's linking back to your website or your blog, is increasing your backlinks and your activity online and giving you more traffic. The more pointing back to your website, that is your business development for the future. Your online business development, the secret in that is backlinks, authority backlinks, and frequency of them. Does everyone understand the concept of backlinking and what that means to your website? Okay, so when you have your own website, it's nice that it's standalone. It's lovely. It's standing there, it's looking good. When other people start pointing to it, for example, I might have my blog, I might point some information over to Claire and I'll go, on my blog, I'll say, Claire's blog is just so good, lots of really rich information in it. So from my business point, my blog, I connect over to hers. That's a backlink. I have linked my website and her website. In the grand scheme of when you're working with Google and looking at traffic numbers, the more websites that link to yours is showing that you're that you know what you're talking about. It's like a referral. The more recommendations you get from another website, being legitimate, obviously, the more Google says, there's a website that's offering good, relevant information. We are going to reward them and move them up the traffic ranks. Does that make sense? Think of it as business development for the future. Like your cold calls. Hi Jim. Don't bother anymore. Backlink. You're more likely to get them online results with that. So I'm going to hand back.